Hey, we're back. Hopefully. I'm scared. But second stream of the day, god damn it. Thanks to most likely my neighbors I don't know, cooking a fucking cake in the microwave and without a fucking like protective glass or something. I don't know. But um I'm connected to my Ethernet connection. It's about 2 to 3 times faster than my Wi-Fi was, which is um already seemed pretty fast. Hopefully now my everything will work. My everything will work. My stream will work. Okay. So, in the previous episode, I was writing some file system code, and I said that I was going to be checking out a series of code editors. So I checked out NeoVim. I've been using VS Codium until now. I checked out NeoVim. It made it to the next round. I checked out Helix, which felt like pre-configured NeoVim. And it wasn't half bad. I don't like the idea of a terminal code editor because it's 2025. For the love of Christ. You know? But I kind of get it. I have to admit, I kind of get it. So yeah, NeoVim made it to the next round. In the first round, I'm doing no configuration whatsoever. I just download the editor, I try it out in its default settings, see what it feels like. Cool. If it makes it past that round, it gets to the second round where I will actually configure it. And NeoVim made it to the next round. Helix didn't make it to the next round, although if I really need to, I'll bring it back. It felt a lot like pre-configured NeoVim. I like the color theme, but that's just a default, you know? You can do that in NeoVim, I'm sure. And yeah, it was okay-ish. And then there's Emacs. It has all the disadvantages of a GUI editor, which are not a lot, but there's a couple, and all the disadvantages of a terminal editor, such as the fact that you cannot properly use the mouse or Control-C, Control-V, and stuff like that. It's like Hannah Montana's enemy said, the worst of both worlds. Great job on that one. So Emacs was just eliminated. It didn't get properly eliminated because my stream started dying around the time that I started using Emacs. So I had to do what best I could and just trying again. Now we got Sublime, Zed, Micro, and also somebody mentioned Kate. So we'll try her out as well. I'm giving 1 hour per each. Although, to be fair, whichever one I try now is going to have 8 minutes less because I used those minutes to talk. Alright. Kate is added and JetBrains is not happening. Alright. So for the next hour, I'm going to be using... Okay, Sublime. Sublime. How very sublime. We have a winner. Wow, it's There's cheering and everything. Cool. Okay. Well, we're gonna install for Linux, which is this the full command? Nah. I gotta do all this shit? Bro, are you serious? What kind of joke? God, Linux is a joke. Alright, here we go. And I pasted it, so now it's all fucked up because it's fucking Linux. So I pasted with Control V and not with Control Shift V. You gotta know how to paste properly. It's your fault for not reading the fucking manual. I also said I might do the same thing that I'm doing, but for distros. Did you fucking do it? I feel like that did nothing. It's available on Snap. Are you serious? Oh no, okay. Now I gotta run the third command to install this fucking editor. And finally, I get to run the last one. What a privilege. Hold on, we're not done here. It has a snap. Why wouldn't you not fucking tell me? Why would this be the first? The only reference to Snap is that it includes an auto upgrade mechanism on Windows and Mac to make upgrades a Snap. Don't a lot of Linux users hate Snap? Who cares what Linux users think? If I find this on Snap, I swear to God. Snapchat. Which is App Center? I guess. Yeah. How very sublime. Look at it here. Damn it. Installing shit on Linux is just painful. What can I possibly say? Snap actually makes it better. I don't care. But it doesn't use the terminal. That's probably not the complaint that they have, let's face it, but it's funnier to think that it is. Unregistered. This is a paid editor, isn't it? I'm gonna put you in yellow. That's why I didn't use Sublime last time, that I was considering switching out from VS Code. Okay. Unlimited demo like WinRAR. Alright. Hell, if it's really, really good, I might pay for it. Yeah, support them and all. I doubt that it's very, very good. Terrified of that software update. I was playing last night or 2 nights ago, and it said that I was gonna install a software update, and it didn't break my network driver, so that's pretty cool. Alright. What even are these blue little thingies? Contains staged files. Interesting feature you got going on there. Alright, so I was working on a file system, and I was having some issues with this. Alright, I don't remember where I left off. But essentially, I am making my file system listing contents of a directory work by Bup, 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 bup. You provide the buffer for it. But then you have to have the ability of providing more buffers if one is not enough. And even though that's the way that the 9p protocol works, that's not the way that it is currently working. So I need to fix that. Is that here? No, in the launcher. Launcher. So look at that. You can navigate files and folders with the mouse. A perfect tool for this. You don't need to memorize commands. I've written a grand total of 1 command that I misspelled it. But that was in the terminal. Which for that matter, if you integrate correctly into whatever code editor you're using, sometimes you don't even have to use the thing. You know, God damn it, I forgot. You know. Literally what? I forgot what it was. The terminal. You don't have to use any commands. There. I completely blanked on what I was saying. Jesus Christ. Okay, I think I just realized what was happening with the offset. Okay, can I search exactly for that? Exactly for this. Except you could have put the enums together, you know. Wow. A text editor that just doesn't need commands. You just search for things and it works, and you don't have to memorize which key binding it takes, and it just does cool things like that. That's pretty cool. I have to say. Okay, offset is now at this value, which is an integer value. Okay, and the other one is no. Okay, why is the offset this very high value? Why would this be a number that the vert protocol fucking returns? Well, the good thing is I enabled tracing, and I can see the trace by just double clicking. Okay, so I'm actually reading 80 bytes. Is that the correct number? 0x50, okay. Yeah, I'm reading 80 bytes, my first round of reading the directory. There's 2 files in the directory that I want to read. I can read one. I'm not able to read the second one. Yeah, so I ask for 80. It returns 58 because otherwise it would like fragment one of them. So cool. And then I am sending the entirely wrong offset here, which I shouldn't be. I don't know what the fuck this number is supposed to be. I should... If I pass 58 as the offset, then will that work? Nope. God damn it. I don't understand how this fucking protocol works, bro. Okay. I tell it, give me 80 bytes from offset 0. And it gives me 80 bytes from offset. It gives me 58 bytes from offset 0 because giving me more would give me half an entry. No problem there. Cool. You gave me that. Now I'm like, hey, give me 80 bytes from offset 58. This print is wrong, by the way. And it's like, yeah, here's the same two files I already gave you. The exact same data I gave you before. I'm just ignoring what you're asking for. Fuck you. I don't understand. How am I supposed to do this? I think maybe I'm starting to understand, but I don't quite understand it. You see how easy it is to work with a code editor that's just fucking text with a mouse and a keyboard. Neovim, I liked you, but you can't compete, man. You just can't compete. So I'm bringing you back to neutral right now. That's not neutral, that's untested, but whatever. Mouse is for a loser. Yeah, whatever. It's just making things more complicated for yourself to use a terminal text editor. It's just overcomplicating things. Why do you want to overcomplicate things? It made sense before the mouse was invented. But now the mouse was invented, like hundreds of years ago. What the fuck was that? Why is this even here? Bro, what is this number? Why is this a thing that's being returned? Why do I feel like I'm reading it wrong? This is sublime. I have to say, it is pretty sublime. Does it even write the new data where you want to? No. The first call works, returns 58 bytes out of the 80 that I requested. Then I'm sending offset 58, requesting 80, and I get maximum 80. And I get 58, but with no offset. What is a ret val? I need to remember what these do. Keep not turning off my... The buffer in the log looked like you got first plus second dataset in the second call. Why am I going to the terminal? Maybe I yearn for that. No, it's returning the exact same amount of data. I'm requesting a maximum of 80 with an offset of 0. It gives me a maximum of... it gives me 58. I don't know what the red val 69 is. Am I supposed to use that as the value, maybe? I don't think so, but... maybe those extra 11 bytes are doing something important. Nope. Always returning the exact same amount of data. Read their data. A 13 byte QID, an offset type and name length. Read dir return tag. Banned? Why are you banned? The interesting thing is, here I can see names. Here I can't. I don't know if the question you're asking maybe has some auto moderation stuff going on. Okay, let me check if there's any held messages. Not that YouTube even informs me of messages that it removed. Yeah, no, I don't even see your message. There's no QID either. Oh, this is weird. Whatever you're sending is probably getting moderated. Try Twitch chat if you have an account. If it gets moderated there, at least I have the option to approve it. Here, I don't even get to see that you said anything. If not, just ask on Discord. Man. I don't want to look into QEMU source code. YouTube is shit. Why am I not allowed to see messages that are being sent in my chat just because you decided that they're not valid? That is ridiculous. If I make an AI out of your chat... If I make an AI out of your chats, could I call it Clanker from scratch? Please don't do that. But also, can someone on YouTube chat try typing out the word Clanker? Because I swear to... Wait, never mind. Never mind. That's someone else's message. Never mind. I just saw your message now. I confused it for another person's, and so I thought that you got banned for saying the word clanker. That's not it. How does redacted OS load the package.info? I don't understand how to include a non-H file into C. What do you mean a non-H file into C? I have to parse it manually. Okay, also the clanker thing was just a false alarm. I was gonna say, if they ban the word clanker before they ban the N word, I swear to God, or the F word, or any of the other, like, actual slurs out there, I swear to God, but no. Oh, package.info. Oh, you were asking for package.info. So yeah, it considered it a URL. That's why you couldn't send that message. .info is actually a valid domain. So yeah. And yeah, I saw Zozen call clanker wankers vibe coders. I saw it on Twitter. Why am I still on that shit? I don't know. I just get bored when I wake up in the morning. Okay, so 69 didn't work either. Hush. Insert joke, I guess. But I don't understand what your question is of how do I load it. What do you mean by that? This is so confusing. The data offset is a what? A 64 uint, and it worked when I used this value. Okay, so should I just use this value? That's kind of insane, but I'll use it. Maybe that's what it takes. Okay, so the second time I'm gonna use this as an offset for whatever fucking reason. In my OS, I'm trying to load a bootconf file into the file system, so in QEMU I can type like cat bootconf, but I can't load it. Assuming that you have an entire file system implementation. Are you serious? It still didn't work. This is literally just a manual implementation of how it used to work before. Oh, I don't... devfs and tempfs? Not sure even what that is. I'm very confused. Offset 0, and then... where's the other reader? Okay, here it is. How old is this file? What the hell? Offset 60. Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't change the offset to whatever the hell this is. Tempfs is for temporary files in RAM. Okay, I understand what you mean now. Okay, now it works. Now it works. Jesus. Understood. Understood. Okay, so it is kind of what I thought. This offset, this number here is something that 9p requires you to pass. And what can you do about it? I'm gonna do something a little silly for this, which is to pass a pointer here instead of a value. And then it will update the pointer. That way you can do progressive reads somewhat easier. It's not ideal, but it's possible. So now I need to change it. Bro, I've used your thingy for like not even an hour. Not even an hour. Relax with that. All right, so list directory content. You're now going to use a uint64t offset value, which is going to be 0. And you're going to pass that in here. And are you serious? No multiple cursor? That's a bad editor. Yeah, they want you to buy within 5 minutes of testing it. Right before I found out that there's not even multiple selection. There's gotta be multiple selection, right? I'm just doing it wrong, right? There's gotta be. If there's any Sublime enthusiasts, Sublime enjoyers, Sublime Sublimers in the chat, please let me know if there is multi-line, because it's something that I use a lot. Three years updates? Yeah, I'm starting to like it less and less, to be honest. I remember when it first came out, I used it. But see, that's the cool thing. You don't have to look up commands or type help. You just go through the menus, seeing if there's anything that seems important. You could also do this inside of a terminal UI, but most of them just don't bother. It seems like Helix tried, at the very least. That's, bless their heart. Has convert case, wrap. Pretty good. Not gonna lie, at this point, I'm still between NeoVim and VS Code. Oh yeah, most files in my system don't work that well. There's like a little bit of a race condition, if you mean in my system. So I'm not entirely sure that's what you're talking about, but yeah. Okay. That is going to need to be updated, and then look how quickly I can move through the files. Wow. Look at that. It doesn't take me 5 minutes to edit a single file. Isn't that fucking amazing? Isn't that just incredible? Okay, find in files, Control Shift F. It's in the bottom, that's kind of ugly. Or, well, really I got used to the way that it works in it. What in the actual fuck is this interface right now? What in the unfinished feature is this? What in the NeoVim is this? What the fuck? How is that the result, bro? Jesus Christ. Should I just wait out the clock and wait until Sublime is done? That cannot possibly be the only way. Show results panel. What is this then? This cannot possibly be the results for this. This is so crazy. Alright, where I just happen to be where they are. There's only like 3 places. So, you got lucky this time. Jesus Christ, bro. How embarrassing. What in the NeoVim? What in the Emacs is this? You can install pre-configured NeoVim to be more like an IDE too. Yep, I know. Like I said, first round, no pre-configuration. Whoever makes it past that, which so far is just NeoVim, gets configured. Also, I want to put a to-do here, because what I did here, not entirely wrong. Actually, the way that they designed it is not a bad idea. The offset is not a number of bytes, it's an entry index. Maybe 9p was onto something. I go between thinking that it's a shitty protocol and thinking that it's genius. And thinking that I want to replace it when I do something similar, or I want to use it when I do something similar. Just make a dialect for it. I'm going with the second one, most likely. That way I can make it compatible with existing implementations of it. With networking, that's kind of necessary. Everything else, I'm able to just say, like, fuck it, we're doing it from scratch. But with networking, I can't really say that. Okay, list processes. Yeah, you need to have this plus the to-do that I just added. Then the file system driver, your list contents function is going to have this. 9p, your list contents function is going to have this. It already does here. Control Alt and up down for multiple lines. That works on no. That's what I tried. That's what it is on VS Code. But not here apparently. What a shame, what a shame, what a shame. Why is there a default value on this? I'm pretty sure I was liking it, but mostly because I'm just back to a GUI text editor that actually works like a GUI text editor. You know. Except for... Oh, it's already closed. Alright. There was a default value in a bunch of others. Oh, that's different. Alt, shift up and down. Okay. Okay. Alright. Thank you. Thank you. Also, who made the network in redacted OS? So I made the first implementation of it, then somebody swooped in and has been doing pull requests. It's kind of dumb that it just goes to like... Well, I don't know if it's dumb or not, but... This may be what you want and may not be what you want, but I like that it does this. Like if you're at the end of the line, the next cursor gets put at the end of the line, and so does the next one. But what if I want them all to be like here? Okay, it works like that. Then it just kind of gets a little weird there. But not bad. Not bad. Not a bad implementation of it. Okay. They were close, 18 minutes to spare, and I was about to just swear it off forever, but that was not half bad. The search for the files is a deal breaker. That's still not changing. Scheduler, where are you? Here. Oh, but you can't alt-click. Can you shift-alt-click? No. Still kind of a deal breaker. Can I select a symbol and see where else it's used? Amazing. Good job on that one. Yeah, also the implementation that I wrote today for this. No. Yeah, when all other editors are pretty much free, they get free updates, and they're better than this one. In terms of features, I would say it's Emacs, and then this one. From the bottom up, that is. Where's the error? Less directory contents in the scheduler. Oh, right. Makes sense. Oh, but yeah. This is not really staying. but I'm fixing it before. Quick add the next occurrence of the current word to the selection. Use quick add next, which is what? Oh, how interesting. So it's selecting all. Ooh, interesting feature. If only it didn't have a bunch of shitty features. They have some interesting ideas with this editor. They just haven't. I don't know. I feel like some other things that to me are very reasonable. Like, okay, I want to put my cursor here and the next one here and the next one here and the next one here for whatever reason. I can't find a way to do it, which I do it with the mouse because that way I can place the cursor exactly where I want. I can do this, but this may not be necessarily what I want. But maybe in round 2, we will learn that there's something better, some way of doing that. Still not done, huh? Vertio 9CPP. Yeah. Not even here, it's the other list contents. Can I jump to the symbol? Oh. It automatically detects it. That's cool. You don't need Clang for this. That's pretty much the only thing I really care about Clang, so... Clank. Clang. Yeah, I want the value of the offset. I want you to write the value of the offset and read the value of the offset. And that... Right, you can do symbols. It's not too difficult to do. There's gotta be a way to do it, of course. I just don't know what it is. But that one's on me, you know? That's why I'm doing this in multiple rounds. So far, I'm thinking it makes it to the next round. Oh wait, I updated the definition of one of these functions, but not the other one. I see that they have all these defaults, but I'm not sure that these defaults are important in the slightest. Correct. Correct. It is now reading the correct files. It's reading user.read, then it's reading the parent directory, then it's reading the current directory, then it's reading terminal.read. And now as to why it's reading these two in the middle, I don't know, but it is working correctly. And that is good. Okay, and this implementation is good. And my man Sublime is good. Not sublime, I have to admit. It's not sublime, it's good. Decent. Also, I've been dying because the inside of the editor is dark mode, but the outside is white. Control click adds a new cursor. Oh, I was doing alt click. Oh, okay, there you go. See, again, I was doing it in the way that you do it in VS Codium. This is how you do it in Sublime. Okay, so far the only ridiculous thing is the find in files. It's like, what the shit is this? I don't understand how this is a thing, because like, then you can't actually... Oh, it does work. Oh. They're genuinely, that looked a little bit AI generated. Well, no, I'm not sure about that. But the this is what you want thing? I don't know about this. Anyway. The editor is interesting, I have to say. Okay, you can click. It's just a really awkward UI here. From Quebec? No. It's an awkward UI, but it is usable, so okay. Just really weird. Damn. In the last like 20 minutes, with 20 minutes to spare, the editor managed to convince me to keep it in the next round. I don't know how the fuck it did that, but it somehow did it. Okay, so just to do a full test of this, right? I'm going to do Z is on the list to be tried later. I'm going to do a list size of this, right? But then I'm only going to read 50 at a time. And I'm just going to put them directly in the same buffer. Yeah, you don't have to learn like commands. Pretty nice. And it's still configurable and stuff. Pretty nice as well. I'm not sure about this offset implementation, because the offset would be necessary. Oh wait, no, hold on. I get it from here. Jesus Christ. Never mind. Let's not even finish that sentence. Okay, so I didn't configure it properly, I feel like. Oh, well, doing it like this is not exactly right either. That's not right. No, 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 no. Yeah, so doing the read like this is not right. I'll have to code a proper way of doing it. Which is to malloc multiple lists and put them all together. And then put the result in one place. But okay, for now it works. And that's really all I care about. I'm so terrified of using Control-C, Control-V because it just does something crazy in most editors. Just to test that everything works. Now this should show the terminal, but not show the original. No, it straight up doesn't show anything. Why not? Oh, this cast is wrong, probably. You want to do it like this. Fuck's sake, come on, man. What happened? I feel like there's occasionally a bug that you disappeared at some point. It's back now. But okay, there it is. Okay, it works. I can request the contents of the directory in two different batches, but I am doing it in I'm not combining the two. Yeah, all right. This is good. Okay, so I have a little bit of time left. Just doing this to save in the meantime. I have 5 more minutes left, and in the way that I designed the first file listing directories that works like this, which is the process one. This thing. It's not quite right. I can redesign this to work like it's supposed to be. Whenever you request any amount of the file system, you get the first 32 bytes representing how many entries there are, and then the rest actually having entries inside of it. Null terminated strings of entries. Yeah, that's the way that it's going to work. The way that it works right now is it does that, but then it just gives you a chunk of that. So to do that, it's actually not going to be any of this shit, pretty much. The way that it's going to work is you use the offset to advance oh, okay, wait, hold on. It's going to simplify this a little bit. Allow okay, how is this going to work? Well, there's actually a fixed number of processes that you can have access to with a certain amount of data, because processes have a name length of 256 bytes, if I'm not mistaken. So that's wrong. It's supposed to be the other way around. By dividing the size of the buffer that you're providing by that size of the maximum of the process code, the name length, I can estimate how many processes I'm actually going to access. But I might not even need to do that. If you provided an offset, I am simply going to iterate through the processes. So I'm going to use an iterator. I'm going to increase this iterator until I reach the process that you provided as the offset. So the last one that you read from. If processes ID is equal to offset, then proc index is going to be I, and we're going to break out of the for loop. Oh, this doesn't, how sad. At which point we're going to do something similar to what we're doing here, but using the proc index as the iterator, and this part needs to be rewritten. But that will happen after the ad break, which starts soon. Before the ad break starts, Sublime actually makes it to the next step. It almost didn't. It also makes it to this next step. And the next editor that I'm going to be checking out is... There's only 3 left. It's going to be Micro. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to come back in 3 minutes with that. We've returned now with Micro. A modern, intuitive, terminal-based editor. A bold claim. I made the mistake of updating my MacBook to Tahoe. It looks so ass. Why do people hate Tahoe? I like the way that it looks. The beta was all over the place, to be honest, but um the thing works well. The main one, that is. Okay. I never liked the shiny glass look. I really disliked it in Windows. How sad. Okay, I saw Alt G for bindings, Control G for help. Quit, save, open, help, command the bar, cut line, find, sudo, undo, not sudo. Select duplicate line, new tab, click Control G for help. Nice, 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 nice. So I want to close that. Cool. What do you know? OS is a directory and cannot be opened. Can you seriously not open directories in this shit? That's kind of sad. You need a plugin? Oh my god. It's just Nano with more features? Seriously? Alright, which file was I even working on in Sublime? I kind of need to remember that. Okay, the scheduler. Which is OS. Okay, starting with the fact that I'm actually in the wrong directory. Because I can't navigate directories. That's process scheduler.c. Before I have a breakdown, I'm just gonna keep typing. Alright, nice syntax highlighting from the very beginning. But you've already been disqualified in my book. Because why is that not a thing? Microbase is just really basics. Do we give it the benefit of the doubt? Same way as Helix. If I need to... I'll consider it. But I already have Neovim. That just mugs both of them. Although Helix is better pre-configured than Neovim is. Okay, what was I doing? Okay, so I was working here, right? So you're gonna let me index properly. Micro plugin install, detect indent, micro plugin install, file manager, micro plugin install, manipulator. I have to install my own manipulator, goddamn. Alright, well, like I said, no pre-configured. I mean, no configuration, just default for first round. If I like it well enough to make it into the second round, I will do all those. So please keep the commands handy for when that happens. I should do that, but yeah. Anyway, okay, when you're listing /proc, I want to give you all the processes. And I'm going to start off with an offset. So I skip any processes that we've already checked. And then we begin pretty much this code, which I'm assuming I can copy and I can paste. Wow. Wow. Okay, why did that only work once? Okay, now it worked again. I'm not sure why that only worked once, but cool. You can actually do this stuff in Micro. God damn. Good job. I'm just getting impressed at the most ridiculous basic shit. Okay, but what's missing is this. And then also this. No multiple selection, okay. You're not doing half bad, Micro. So don't you worry if you don't have multiple selection in default. I have a feeling. Symbol selection. No multiple cursors, but symbol selection. Good job. Okay. Micro main soon. Just chill. And here's another extra little thing I'm gonna do. If the current right pointer minus the buff is bigger or equal to the max proc name length, then I'm going to break. Which means I like it. I like this editor. I'm more focused on the editor than the code I'm writing. I've written like 10 lines of code the entire time. Hey, so I'm working on a file system for my own custom kernel. And I'm also testing code editors because I want to switch away from VS Codium. Right now I'm testing Micro. I'm testing one every hour. Default only. That means not doing any kind of configuration for them. If I like them, they go to the next round, I'll do some configuration for them. Wait, I just indented this thing, but it was all wrong. Oh, I see. The indentation. Oh, this indentation is weird. What is happening? This is so weird. This is Micro. Is Cat even an editor? Cat just prints, I think. Watch Cat become an editor and people yell at me. Okay, so you want to list /proc. We're not using the proc account at all. I did think I wasn't going to end up using it. It's just about how I feel about it. It's just my opinion, really, because it's for me. So yeah, no rules. Detect indent plugin. Okay, I see now that you actually added it to the list of things to install. Okay, so if you already indexed some and you have an offset, we are going to navigate to that offset, and then we are going to work off that offset. If not, or even if so, we're going to go to proc index, which we are not, in fact, going to reinitialize to 0. That's kind of going to defeat the whole purpose. And I feel like if I hadn't gone through the code to explain it, I wouldn't have realized that this was happening. Then we're going to check that it's less than the maximum processes, and then we're going to go process by process. If this entire time, the pointer that we're writing to minus the buffer, which would give us the size of the buffer that we've written to so far, is bigger or equal yeah, no, exactly. That logic is wrong. Size, the total size minus what we've already written, meaning what we have still to write, is less than the maximum name for a process, then we're going to break because there's not enough space to fit another entry in here. If not, we are going to go into the process using proc index, not I. And if the process is active, we are going to include one more in the count, take its name, and not sure why this is not a single line. Anti-gravity. Oh, no, 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 no. We're not doing AI here. Also, yeah, I saw it's just VS Codium. Okay, we're going to write to the buffer so long as there is a name to write. We're going to then end it with a thing. Also, yeah, we want to skip past the offset. And then we're going to set the offset's value to the ID of the process. That way you'll be able to access multiple processes. Cool. Okay. Ready to test this code, and I wrote some code for this that I then commented out. It was working the first time I did it. But here it is. That works, but it doesn't uncomment. Good to see that it works, because I do use that a lot. I'm liking this. As far as text editors in the terminal goes, I like this one, but I've liked it because I've worked on a single file. There's no directory, but if I keep liking it, if I keep liking it well enough, then I will work on more on configuration, and then I will like it more. Okay, so this should list 2 directories. It is a text editor and not a code editor. Yeah, fair. To be fair, it shouldn't have made it into the list. But I'm liking it as a code editor. It has this basic syntax highlighting, so it's not half bad. $312. Oh, 312 is this line. Okay, that makes more sense. And then size T and char pointer. Oh, that's buff. I mean, I like micro more than nano for that matter. Wait, what's the char pointer? Wait, you're a char pointer. Okay. And buffer content, insane amount here. That's not quite right. Wait. Am I doing that count thing? Count? Count? Yeah, I am. How did it... Where is it? Wait, what is list broke? Oh, this is the old function that I'm no longer using. here. Interesting. I don't think I need to cast. I don't think you care about that stuff. Buffer content 4. It did care about that stuff. Oh, I was printing the pointer. I should have printed the value. Okay. Right. Okay. So it has 4. Wait, what's the maximum content of a process? The... No, that doesn't work. Sad. I opened the wrong place. It's os kernel process .h. And the maximum process name length is 256. So... Oh, right. It can fit as many as it possibly can. So long as the last one, there's 256 left for the next one. So maybe if I come up with a better way of doing this, it might even be capable of handling more. But that seems to work. And... Oh, you quit twice. Too quick. To quit micro. Another thing. Real quick. When I added Emacs, it installed 200 and something megabytes to the disk, and it is now removing 54 kilobytes. Auto remove. That's still the same. Like, as long as you get rid of that. Again, if I do the same thing that I'm doing with the text editors with distros, I'm just gonna wipe this one anyway, so who cares? Okay. Now there's... micro. Purge. All right. The concept of a package manager needing sudo for literally everything. Okay, it's not installed, so it wasn't removed, so it couldn't purge. Oh well. Oh, very sad. Whatever. All right, let's move on. So that's 2 of the 3 directory listing functions are already working. Just need to implement the last one, which is in kernel file system fat32.cpp. This one. All right, yeah. The list direct... No. The list contents function, here it is. the one that works as expected. It calls this walk directory with list entries handler. The list entries handler calls this list directory. Can set an LSP into it. We'll see how much I miss an LSP. Like this could take a while. It's gonna be a few streams of me doing these tests. Probably today, just the first round. Tomorrow, the second one. Okay. So it crashes every time. Whoops. Well, I guess we'll see that with more testing in the future. But okay, cool thing about FAT32. I know a size of a directory ahead of time because of the file allocation table. I know exactly how much data I'm going to be reading. It may be overshooting, but in multiples of 512 bytes, so not a whole lot of wasted space. However, I am still doing that. It's useful until it isn't. It is useful for... This is the part that really sucks. For opening a directory. And then if it had been like before, in which like you open a directory and then you simply read a buffer in chunks until you read it all, then this would be really easy. I already have the entire thing, and then you just request pieces of it until you put them all together. But that's not the way that I'm doing it. You request, and I give you entries. Self-contained entries. Each piece that you request is a self-contained list. Thank Mohammed. See you. Because of that, then I cannot do what I think I need to do, which is to transform one list into multiple smaller lists. It was easy to do with the other two things, but it may not be as easy for this one. So let me... I wasn't trying to do this, but okay. I'm just used to working with this keyboard on Mac. Excalidraw, here you are. Okay, so right now, the way that my file system works is we got this is what's currently in the directory and what I parse directly from FAT32. But then, depending on the amount of entries that you, or the size that you request, I will be able to give you something that looks like this. Which, not super easy to do. So what can I do about it? It's not easy to do because it was easier to just do this. To read from this buffer. But this is what I need to do, okay. So the first 4 bytes are reserved for the count. Cool. Then I want to copy as many entries as I'm capable of copying. Which comes from here, actually. No, but this is the full buffer. This is the full buffer, which is returned to list directories. And then if we scroll all the way down, ends up here. I love the use of actual size here, returning it, but not actually using it. Great job on that. Okay, not sure how to do this. This is micro. I might just have to do the same operation. Yeah, probably. Does it not have scroll bars? Oh, the scroll bar is for the terminal. Okay, it looks like it has scroll bars, but it's just for the terminal. It's kind of weird. Probably, no, it stays there. It's so weird. I can open another tab, right? I open another tab, but then what can I... Oh boy. No. Not that. I wanted to open Alt-G. Wait, what? Command bar? Interesting. Cut line. Find, undo, redo, duplicate line, new tab. How do you switch between tabs? Control W? Oh. Wait, so where did my other tab go? This? When I open a new tab, it doesn't... It's kind of confusing. But, okay, I want to open the OS kernel. No, I'm already in OS. I'm going to open kernel process scheduler.cpp, which is wrong. No, I want to open scheduler.c. No, it doesn't switch between them. It did when I had the help open, because it opens in a bottom and top tab. Then I can do this. But not alt comma alt period. Oh wow. Wait, can I click on it? I can also click on it. I did not realize what this meant, even. I didn't realize that this is technically just a file browser. You know the funniest thing? Yeah, it's a code editor in the terminal. Why though? At this point, it's just a code editor isn't in the terminal. Like, I guess you would put it in the terminal for distros that are only a terminal. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Okay, okay. Kind of what I want to do is copy this in here. Index it properly. Cut this line out. And terminal editors are good when you SSH into a server. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's why I said like when you don't have a GUI or when you have that. Yeah. SSH. Did not consider that. Okay, so this count, is it used at all? Yeah, here. Okay, so this loads the entire directory into disk, which is then actually freed. Okay, I wasn't sure about that. We modify the size based on the size that we've received. Then we want to skip any entries that we've already read, but I'm not sure how to do that yet. So we're going to skip that part for now. Well, you want to stop using Codium? Microsoft, it's a little bit shitty. Code organization is painful as hell. I was also going to say you cannot search files, but today I learned that you can. You used to be able to do it on the sidebar, then they changed the way that it works on the sidebar. They also changed the keystroke for it, so I thought you couldn't do it. I learned that you can, and I learned how to do it properly now. Okay. This for loop is just entirely wrong. The entries are I know how many entries there actually are. If I read it from the PTR, from the uint32t PTR pointer, cast and read value. I is smaller than total count I plus plus. This condition, and also we want to check that right pointer is smaller. No, minus buff minus 4 is smaller then size. Did you like Emacs? Not even a little bit. Nope. Size minus right pointer minus buff minus 4. I knew I forgot something. There it is. Okay. He absolutely loved it. Please. Okay. Kind of hard to see chat when it goes over the status bar. True. I used to have a background. I need to configure that a little bit better. All right. Okay, this is pretty much the... Ooh, it auto-completes the brackets. I didn't notice that. Okay, so when I get the full list of the directory, so this thing, I skip the first 4 bytes, I read this, and I look into strlen for the first string that it gave me. If I can fit it into the buffer, I do that. I increase the count. And then that's it. It's that simple. Going to want to memcpy into the right pointer from the cursor, the length. I'm then going to increase the right pointer by the length. I'm then going to increase the cursor by the length plus 1. And I'm going to increase the right, and I'm going to write actually to the right pointer. Increasing it afterwards. I'm going to write a 0 to null terminate the string. I'm also going to count one more file written. If the file doesn't fit, we're simply going to break out of this loop. Finally, we're going to write the number of items in the buffer, and we're going to return the size that we've actually written, which is not that. It's write buff minus buff. No, write ptr minus buff. Okay, and the big issue with this is that I don't have a simple way of addressing when a file, the offset that is then used to be able to do multiple reads, essentially so that, you know, if I read this much, the first time it gives me hello.txt, the second time it gives me world.txt. I guess it's gonna be a byte offset, even though that may not always be accurate. And am I even using it? Here I'm not. That's the part that I'm missing. That's the part that's not working right now. The right pointer, no, not the right pointer, the offset is used to indicate, okay, the last file I read was hello.txt. So the next file is going to be different from hello.txt. It's going to be the next file after that. The problem is that I don't have a way to really tell you, like, okay, this is the last one I read. Because that's not a thing that you can do right now. Except I could use the file's name's hash as a unique identifier for it. Unless FAT32 internally keeps a unique identifier for a file, which I don't think that it does, but maybe it does. This is a FAT32 long name, a FAT32 file entry, which comes from kernel file system FAT32.hpp. A FAT32 file entry has a file name. No kind of hash for the file. Interesting. I thought it would have that. That kind of sucks. This is absolutely insane, by the way. Yeah, I think the best way for me to do it is to index the files by their by a hash. So I'm gonna do that, and then I am doing that somewhere, the hashing thing. I'm doing that in kernel dev driver base.c. This. I want this. With data struct hash map. It actually returns a uint64. If hash is equal to offset, if no offset found and the hash equals to the offset, then offset found is now true. Well, no, actually, here's what we're going to do. If the offset has not been found yet, we're eventually going to continue. This file needs to be skipped. And if the hash equals to the offset, then the offset has been found, The current file gets skipped. And here we write to the offset the hash. That way you know the last file that was read. Okay, if this works, I think I did it. Does it work? Oh. Okay. Minor issues here. And also here. Then I forgot to set this. And there was one more error that you were talking about, my dude. And that was... Or uint32, actually. That. There. How will I know if this works? I'm not even bothering. Well, it read the configuration, so it means that it's not fully... Well, no. Never mind. In order to know if this works, I am going to modify the fs redos theme.config to use oh, I did this on my laptop, so it's not here. App directory boot, which means that it will read files from FAT32. It did do that. It did do that. But it was either able to read enough information or maybe it read enough information. I don't know. That worked a little too well. But it did read from FAT32. All right, so let me see. That would be in the kernel processes window launcher.cpp. That doesn't exist. See, because why would you do it like this? Jesus Christ. Kernel processes windows launcher.cpp. See my mistake now. There it is. Come on, Micro has 6 minutes left. It wasn't able to read anything, so that's kind of a good sign. The question is, how do I know what the entries... Well, demo the elf plus 4 bytes should have been about 12. So I feel like one entry should have fit in there. Oh, but I'm reading from the second file, so maybe God, scrolling in these without a scroll bar to help you scroll faster sometimes is kind of a pain. Let me see. Okay, printf offset now at LLX, not capitalized, please. Offset. That's it. Hey, Danukshan. Welcome. Offset is now this big ass value, which I believe is in fact yeah, so you should have read at least one file, right? What is it? List PTR. Why does it get stuck sometimes like this? It says it has 2 values in it. I did do the copy, right? Because it would be really funny if I hadn't done the copy. Yeah, here it is. I don't have a degree, no. Absolutely don't think it's important. Okay, so tell me which copies you're doing. Something's clearly got horribly wrong for us along the way. Dot and dot dot. Since when are those files in FAT32? Oh, when it's created by Linux. I guess they can be there. Okay. And Control E? Typing scroll bar? What? Oh, type the word scroll bar. No. Again, default experience. So far I'm actually liking it, so we're good. It's making it to the next round. Is it always at the same file? Oh yeah, because I'm not increasing the cursor. Shit. Let's face it, it has 1 minute to go. I doubt that it's gonna do something so bad that I'm gonna just decide to not use it anymore. All right, but ad is starting. So before the ad starts, also hi Goldfish. Micro, you're in. Advice on getting better at coding. Well, I have an ad coming up, so I'll talk a little bit more about it. Before the ad starts, we're now between Kate and Zed. Both are UI editors, and we're going with Zed. Kate. We're going with Kate. Damn, that was a close one. All right, and then after that, who knows? Who knows which one it's gonna be? All right, I'll be back in 3 minutes. We're back. And bad time to see that Micro has a scroll bar. I guess for next time. Time for Kate. We're switching to Kate. We're gonna get an edge in editing. The way they capitalize the word edge just makes me think that this is gonna download like Microsoft Edge or something. I'm scared. Okay. Install Kate on Linux. Hey, you know, these links hardly ever work on this computer, so good. Very easy install, as it should be. It's missing an icon, whatever. I feel like, from what I'm seeing here, what code, what language is that? Jesus, that's C++. Okay, so that guy that made like a 2.5 hour video complaining about C++, where he says like pretty much every code base looks like a different programming language, was right, because I did not recognize this as CPP. But anyway, look how long it took for Linux to get you just install shit with a click. Oh, it eventually loaded the icon. I didn't even notice. And then it crashed. It was like, okay, ooh, that icon took a lot out of me. I'm gonna take a nap. See, Emacs is still installed. I fucking knew it. Motherfucker. Still installed. Oh, this is given Java. Is Kate written in Java? Do we know? It feels written in Java to me. Okay, this is the directory I want to open. We are gonna do one little bit of configuration. The only exception, KDE apps are all written in C++ using Qt. Oh, okay. One single exception, we are gonna go for dark. I think I also switched. Oh, Breeze is the default, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, well, that's good. This like split menu, or well, it's not really a split menu, but like this menu like this just made me think of Java. It reminded me of like Ghidra is the first thing that came to mind, but Ghidra doesn't actually have a menu like this. Got a snack in the kitchen. Now I need some water. Also, I am connected to Ethernet right now. My router is in my kitchen. My computer is in here. And there is like Ethernet inside the Oh, I bought ramen this morning. I wonder if I'm gonna eat it after the stream, but no plans for it right now. I have that thing that like you can put Ethernet in the wall, but there's no outlet for that where the router is. So the best way for me to quickly run a cable is to keep my door open and run it through the kitchen. So I have to be careful. I'm gonna get one of those things where you can like put the cable inside of it, and then it you don't trip on it. That's not gonna be a problem. The problem is keeping the door open. Although I don't sleep in this room, so it's not like I'm gonna close it, but you know, if I do host someone and have them sleep in this room, although it's gonna be a little bit awkward with the entire like streaming setup and the recording music setup going on there. Or when I go out, I leave Jester in this room so that he doesn't have access to the kitchen. Make of that silence what you will. So now I can't close the door. That's gonna be a problem, but I'm just gonna disconnect the cable tonight. And then figure out what to do. But yeah, also when I went to the kitchen, I had to be careful with the cable. I definitely don't want to have it connected in the middle of the night if I get up to go to the bathroom or to get water and trip over the cable and destroy both my router and my computer at the same time. There's a double 2-in-1 hyper destruction type thing. So we want to avoid that. Okay, so this is kind of like the type of scroll bar that I would like to have, right? Very nice of Kate to have it. Okay, I haven't done any coding yet, but it looks pretty good. Okay. So it seems to do some early return here. Now, the thing that switching between like how many 6 or 5 code editors in one afternoon and evening is that I never know which icon to go to click. Sometimes it's the terminal, which I still have this one open. I'm just gonna close it. Yeah, sometimes it's the terminal, sometimes there's some icon on here. All right, right pointer, this condition must not be true. Edit. There's gotta be a way to do this. No. I want to move this line of code up here. Pretty much all editors have it. I'm assuming they have it, except for Xcode. Fuck Xcode for not having that, by the way. Cool that they all have it. What is copy as HTML? Is that gonna do anything? No fucking way. No way. Speaking of HTML. It's time to bring the girly back. Please don't tank the stream. Made it a little bit too big. But she's back. Watch the stream into slowly burn and crash. Come on, man. It looks entirely different here. It's actually readable. Is my bitrate dropping? What the? No, okay. It looked for a second like it was dropping. I was so scared. Holy shit. Alright, we're good, we're good. Wait, I just realized. What if it then wasn't the browser that was crashing my computer? And so... I can go back to Mac. Oh my god. It is too big, yeah. Let me see. Wait, I mean, I just need to refresh. Bro, what? Oh, there's a fixed font size for it. I didn't realize. Mac kinda just ignored that. Alright, is that better? I think, yeah, it goes under the chat, so that's good. I'm not sure if I'm going back to Mac, but let's stay on... Okay, let me do the distro thing that I said and see if I want to go back to Mac. Anywho, again, I want to move this selection. I don't know how to do it, but essentially this now goes here. That's the plan. Not sure how to do it. TER 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, okay. There's not enough space. I'm not allocating enough space in these very small. I like that VS Code tells you where you made changes in the code. This doesn't seem to do it. Wait. It sees this change, but that's not. What does this green thing indicate? That doesn't look like it's from Git, because I made a lot of changes to this that should be in Git. Whatever. Whoops. Whatever. Yeah, I'm literally reading like 1 or 2 bytes less than I'm supposed to here. Changes you did inside Kate? I guess. It's just kind of dumb. The entire thing is implemented. Motherfucker, that was fast. That was cool. That was easy. Done. Wow. I'm done coding forever. Wait, hold on. Let me check. Yep. It's not changes that you made inside Kate. It's on-stage changes. I'm making an OS, yes. Okay. So, officially, it works like this. You can, from disk, load all the entries that there are. I should probably cache these, let's face it, but yeah, you can. And then you can read specific entries or subsets of that, which is limited to whatever fits. And for example, I was 1 or 2 bytes shy of however many I needed to write that terminal entry, the terminal.read entry. So that one didn't get written. Just pretty cool. Okay. Now, I need to... It's kind of sad that I'm done doing this, pretty sure. But I still have Z to check out. It's really sad that I'm done doing what I was going to do. And the next thing that I want to do for the operating system is probably going to happen on Monday. But it is going to be... How do you scroll? Okay, here. Since listing files is now implemented, write and read permissions for files. So we're going to figure that out a little bit. Terry Davis 2 before GTA 6. Nice. Alright, damn, Kate, I'm sorry that you're not getting enough time. I guess Kate will be getting checked out. Actually, we'll be getting extra time next time I code tomorrow. That's gonna be game development, but I am still gonna be doing my little code comparison stuff. And you know what? That stream is going to be, let's say, 3-4 hours. It usually is 3-4 hours. So are there any more code editors that I should check out? And tomorrow I can add them to the list. I'm checking out Kate all over again. I'm checking out Zed, which I haven't been able to. And it's the first one that people suggested, and it's the last one that I'm going to be checking out. Emacs and Helix have been eliminated. Although, Helix was nice, it just didn't impress me particularly, made me feel like it was anything interesting. So... If I didn't like any of the other ones that came after, I would have brought it back, but yeah, I like them. So, And in terms of terminal text editors, I liked NeoVim and Micro better than I liked Helix. So Helix, you're probably fully out. But if there are any other text editors that I should do, find something little to do, so please let me know in the chat. Find something little to do so you can test Zed. I think most likely what I'm going to do is I'm going to test Zed tomorrow. Since I'm not going to be doing the same operating system stuff, but I am going to be doing, actually I'm going to be doing Raylib, and I'm going to be doing possibly SDL. So I'm going to be writing code anyway. And it's even going to be more experimental code and stuff. So that's gonna be interesting. See, Devin, he never tried code blocks. What in the name of fuck are we looking at here? How old are we talking? I'm gonna say quite old. Look at that Firefox logo. That fox is a grandpa now. NetBeans. Oh, that one I heard about. Lapsy and Focus come to mind, but I found them a bit unfinished, unstable. Might be worth it for the 2026 edition, maybe, but I might as well check it out. Apache NetBeans. Back in my day. Actually, they have a more modern website than the other thing. Not a single picture of it, though. Okay, and Focus. We're not doing an anti-gravity. This one's not even opening. That's a pretty one. Then again, pretty means almost nothing. I'm trying to open that one. Struggling a little bit. Dear God, it's HTTP. Bro, Let's Encrypt is free, come on. Are you serious? I mean, I'm one to talk. But this one just redirects you to GitHub. Opens for you? Interesting. Oh, interesting, interesting. What? I've seen this shit before. I've seen you before. Why is nothing loading? I am writing my own code editor eventually. What's with this low resolution? Okay, it's not the same. I don't know why I thought it looked like Android Studio. But I've seen you before. This code editor. Looks like VS Code. No, not quite, not quite. It's something else. It's probably some UI framework that they're using. Material theme? Probably that would be GitHub Desktop. I've never used that. Oh, I literally opened this page today. Atom. Not quite. Oh, you mean the code editor? Not quite, not quite. A little bit. Funny? What is that? Oh my god. Python IDE for beginners. Oh boy. I'm horrified by the lack of tabs in their screenshots. It looks naked. It looks... Poor thing. Yeah, I feel like Focus might not be ready. It would be super unfair to put them in this list. Maybe I'll do a 2026 edition of this. And then I'll check that one out. Yeah, it is. It's written in Java. Seriously? Okay. Oh wait. Okay, they actually tell me what their AI UI, not AI, Jesus. Floem, a native Rust UI library with fine-grained reactivity and great ergonomics. It looks amazing. Interesting. Yeah, just reminds me of something. I mean, it looks like VS Code a lot. Let's begin with that. It does look like VS Code a lot. Like this part looks a lot like VS Code. The overall layout of it looks like VS Code. So they were clearly inspired by VS Code, but I don't think it looks so much like something else. And VS Code and Atom having a baby. Yeah, that's probably like what created it in my mind, yeah. That's the most likely I'm adding it to the list since that way I have three things to check out tomorrow. But I'm not doing the wheel anymore because Zed, poor thing, has already suffered enough. So it's gonna be Kate first because I barely got to check out Kate today. It's gonna be Zed second because it was gonna be the last one. And this last. The only Rust GUI's libraries I know is Iced and eGUI and Fultk. Well, this one is... Now you know another one. No, this is not. Floem. Oh wait, it's made by them. I just realized it's made by the same people. The best bet is to use VS Code. I have to say, about every other editor, the tab management has been amazing. Every time I open VS Code, I end up with 50 tabs open. Every single time. I can open one file and end up with 50 open. It makes no sense. But okay, one more thing that I do want to do before I'm done. Sublime. Did it make it past? Sir, somehow Sublime made it. I don't remember when it made it. I thought I eliminated it. Oh no, right. Last minute, it actually redeemed itself and made it through to the next round. Next round is probably going to be like one stream each or something like that, or 2 hours each with configuration and whatnot. VS Code, yeah, it's kind of standard, but I'm trying to move away from Mac at this point, from Windows at this point. All right, let's check out. I mean, I should be able to just do this, right? I'm assuming you put your two... Why is this not listed on their website, bro? Um, yo, this is cute, but I'm not doing a review of these things. This feature is only available to registered users. Are you serious? Bro, come on. This was literally a must-have when I was having issues with my eyes. You're putting it behind a fucking paywall? That is horrifying. It is pretty, but this is kind of crazy. Sublime is perfect for headless coding. The main con, they track the fuck out of you. Shocking. They seem like the type. Then again, I'm streaming the entire process, so it's kind of a moot point when I'm doing it right now, but yeah. Kinda sucks. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. I like the double click to confirm. Very simple way of doing it. I don't like that they've put fucking dark mode behind a paywall, bro. This was literally like there was a period of like a month in which I couldn't properly look at a screen. I would be straight up unable to use this. Honestly, that's just shitty of them to do it. Now, I'm liking the way that it looks. I like the way that it feels. It's amazing. But that's just a deal breaker, honestly. That is literally an accessibility feature. I'm assuming it's proprietary because they wouldn't have done this otherwise. Okay, 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 okay. Discard this whole thing, yeah. This one too. This was just for testing, so we're gonna get rid of it. Same for this one. This stays. This goes. Trace events was actually supposed to be get ignored, but whatever. Everything else gets staged. And now we're going to commit with a commit message that's going to be the UI is amazing. Oh, that is literally an accessibility feature. It's so annoying. They would put that behind a paywall. I understand that it's a paid program, but then just make me pay for it. I'm not sure if pagination is the correct word to use here, but I'm using it. Okay, and what about pushing? This, I'm assuming? Push. Okay, now this part I'm doing... Fuck off. Oh, we're just straight up not... Alright, I'll do this later. This is the third fucking time I have to log in. It never works. $99 for a fucking Git editor? Are you fucking insane? Is this a joke? Oh, look at their screenshot with the dark mode, which actually looks worse. Bro, fuck off. $100 for that. That is... I'm sorry, but Sublime is out as a company. Jesus. I am judging Sublime Text for the sins of its sibling, but... my brother in Christ. Hell no. While we're at it, get you out of here too. Who even are the developers of this shit? Like, what makes you charge people? They're just Sublime. That's it. We produce remarkable software. Digito. Anyway, Sublime is out of the running. Fuck that. Absolutely fucking not. We're not paying $100 for dark mode. What was the suggestion I saw before? Emac. Oh no. Oh no. Nah. I'm getting lazy Git. I hate it. Honestly, I don't want to get lazy Git, but if I have to, I'll get lazy Git. I'll make my own damn thing. Fuck that. I like Fork, but it's Mac and Windows only. I like Source Tree, but it's Mac and Windows only. I don't like it that much, honestly. I would have replaced it for the other one if it had been better. But yeah, no. Okay, I would love to know why Emacs is still installed. By the way, when I explicitly went to uninstall it, but then it only installed like 50 kilobytes out of the 200 megabytes that it installed. So, why did you do that? If you weren't already out of the running for that, you wouldn't have been uninstalled, so I never would have found out, I guess. All right. Shorter stream right now because the other stream was 4 hours, although the last hour was just like my internet going in and out. You need to restart the session? Alright. Yeah, but it's still uninstalled like 50 kilobytes out of 200 megabytes that it installed, so that's kind of weird. But, whatever. Okay, we got Zed left to check out, and we got the other one that wouldn't, their website wouldn't open, so maybe it will tomorrow. Sublime took itself out of the running with those business practices. VS Codium, frankly, main reason why I want to get rid of it. I don't want to have anything to do with Microsoft. Linux is weird, yep. I'm not sure why I said maybe after I pick a code editor, I'm gonna pick a distro. That was not the best idea. But then again, I used to hate terminal editors. Now I don't hate them. After today, I don't love them. I don't see the point of them. Besides SSH, like we mentioned, that I understand. And you know, before UIs, but you know, anyone who's been coding from the 80s onwards, I think we the features that a text editor has are a lot more convenient. Kate is looking good. I've heard really good things about Zed. VS Codium, honestly, gained the feature that I thought was missing, which is searching for files. I couldn't find it. I googled it a million times, but then again, whatever. I am gonna make my own text editor. That's another thing that I want to learn how to do. Well, not learn how to do. I'm looking at what they are doing so that I can do the same thing. Actually, tomorrow's stream is a game development stream, but not exclusively, not necessarily exclusively. Okay, so it's probably gonna be exclusively dedicated to game development, but what I do tomorrow is going to apply to a lot of other things. Essentially, I've been planning on making a hacking game for a few weeks now, and I have a game engine, but the game engine is... I'm a little tired today, so I'm not gonna keep going. The game engine runs only on my operating system, so I want to make it cross-platform. That's where either Raylib or SDL come in. Both of these are libraries that allow you to do cross-platform fairly easily. They handle all the, OS specific stuff. Now, the way that you do it is Raylib provides the front end, and then the operating system has the back end. But the way that I'm doing is I'm using Raylib as the backend for all other operating systems that aren't my own. Because what I'm doing is technically a replacement for Raylib, but it relies on Raylib. Or SDL, I haven't picked which one. So tomorrow I'm going to check out Raylib and SDL, probably standalone, see which one I like more, and decide if I wanna use them to make my game engine cross-platform. Now, that's for a game engine, but the way that it applies to other things is that technically, I will be able to make a lot of my code cross-platform if I create a simple library that, with my own way of building things for my own code, for my operating system, also works for Linux, which is fairly similar because mine is somewhat Unix-like, also for Mac, and I guess also Windows. Relying on Raylib and SDL, technically I could make the apps that I make for my own OS also run inside of Windows, Linux, and Mac. Relying on one of these two libraries to provide that functionality. So, because I am planning on making a code editor for my game engine, for my operating system, I am planning on making a game engine and games, and I'm planning on making a compiler. So it would be a waste if I had to do it twice in order to run these things inside of my operating system, and then Linux, and then Mac, and then Windows. If you want to suffer like that. So instead, possibly, the best thing to do is, to find some cross-platform library, use that, and then, although I'm using it in kind of an unusual way, the opposite way of which is supposed to be used, but, yeah. The name of the operating system is Redacted OS. For now, it's going to stay like that. Alright, so that's going to be tomorrow's stream, and I'm mostly going to focus on these two libraries, not so much on the game development. So if I make a code editor, technically, tomorrow lays the foundation for the code editor, and for the game, and for the compiler, and for a lot of other things. All right. With that, I'm going to end the stream now. Tomorrow's stream is at 3 p.m. CET, Central European Time. Gale. 2 p.m. UTC UK time. And there it is, scrolling by as we speak. And then we are going to be doing this. If you're not interested in that, you want to just do more operating system development. Oh, by the way, I'm also checking out the rest of the these 3 editors tomorrow as I write code for these 2 libraries. So that's going to be tomorrow. If you're not interested in that, you just want to have the operating system development. Next one is Monday at 6:30 p.m. UTC, scrolling by right now. And with that, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much, everybody. See you tomorrow.